Hello, everyone. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I hope everybody enjoyed their 4th of July. I hope everybody's safe. And I hope everybody's ready to be in the trading room tomorrow morning so we can go to the stock market and make some withdrawals from our favorite ATM. I have mentioned about bringing more of my breadth charts and my specialized charts in to introduce the group a little more and more to them slowly because I don't want to overwhelm anybody. And you guys have heard me mention before about, especially when the long-term trend switched from bullish to bearish. And that's when I switched from maybe we can still see a recovery, maybe. Let's see what happens to, all right, we're going down. So you can see right here, short term looks like it wants to turn a little bit. So we could see a rally this week. Would not expect much of one. This is the medium term, midterm, and you can see it's bearish as well, but the long term is what really matters here. You can look back to COVID, and matter of fact, the 2019 pullback as well, and you can see already we are deeper. Uh, our indicator is already deeper, wider, thicker. You can just see the bearishness there compared to past rallies. Now you can also see in the midterm and short term of how deep they got, because as quick as this is basically following participation, and how quick the sell-offs were, to how deep they went versus what we're looking at now. This is more of a prolonged. That was a panic sell. This is just a controlled sell. Right, so let's look at the next chart. This is also a breadth chart. So this is the S&P 500, the bar chart. The line chart is basically the daily highs and lows of the New York Stock Exchange. And you can see down here, the blue line is the New York Stock Exchange. The green line is the S&P 500. This is the percentage of the stocks that are above their 200, the daily 200 moving average, above the 50 moving average on the New York Stock Exchange and the S&P. So you can see that's one of the things that we need to see change, that we actually will see changing as we start going into a transition in the market. Right now, we're still expecting more sideways, downside action. Nothing huge. This is ACCD. I don't know much about this. I do know that I seen it on the scanner and it had a nice pop with a gap here. I don't know anything about the liquidity, but it's a smaller cap stock and this may have some continuation. You can see it flagged right here at the 50 and the 9, pulled back to the 9 and ripped. I think it had some news on it, but I'm not sure. But we have some members who are always looking for the cheaper small cap stocks to trade as well. So just wanted to throw that in there. Allstate, a lot of action on this one Friday. You can see it had volume, nice move up, back above all the moving averages here. The only thing to worry about is we have to take this downtrend out. If we don't take this downtrend out, this could be a short opportunity. So it's trading in this channel. This is worth watching either way. Could be going in with puts, could be going in with calls. Check your liquidity. I have traded Allstate, but it's been a while, and there's a lot less liquidity in the market now, in the options market, than there was back when I traded it. AUPH, this is another one. Big candle on Friday. Might have had some. It could be tied to any of the. I don't think monkeypox, but just something like that. I do believe it had some news Friday with this huge candle here. So that's worth checking into. You can see the MACD wanting to cross, showing a sign of momentum. Back above all the major moving averages except for the 200 up here. So if it can take this symmetrical, it's not perfect, but if it can take that little triangle out there, it can probably push up. And like I say, it's another small cap, so it's one to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on your gap back here. Make sure you're drawing your lines, checking to see how much gap's left there, when we get into it. Uh, Bloom, I got this on the list again this week, still trading in this tight triangle here. It's wedging. It's not, it's not a textbook triangle, but you got a nice little wedge here, trending in it. If we can get back above these moving averages, take this downtrend out, this could possibly push. One thing that we're going to see when we, for the transition of the market is that you will see small caps. Uh, you will see them coming after small cap growth stocks. Um, it's just something that they do to kick the market off when everybody feels the market changing. Everybody runs in after those because thinking that they're going to be pumped up, and usually that's exactly what happens. So that's just one of the things we're looking for. We're looking for the high-low ratio to change. We're looking for stocks to get back above some of those moving averages, and we're looking for broad participation in the market. We're looking for them to come after small caps. So there's plenty of signs. I get asked all the time, well, how will we know? We're going to see volume pick up. Uh, we're going to see the liquidity coming back into the market. There's definitely a lot of signs. We may not get the actual bottom. I would actually rather see the market move 10% to get back up above some critical levels before deploying any real cash that's not trading. We're in here trading, just playing a daily action right now and doing good with it. You can see CHWY here. You can look at this as a cup, but for me, I'm just simply looking at it as so you got a nice little trend break down here, trend break coming through here, coming up, got back above your 50 here, flagged into or back above your 50, flagged into your 9, and pushed up off your 9. It's a nice looking chart here. I want to put this one on the day trading watch list as well. I do believe I have the 15 for this one. Yes. You can see it's got a little cup action in here as well. Nothing great. Had a couple flat days there, then picked up on Friday. Could have just been moving with the market as well. It did have a nice day, but when you have the whole market pushed for the most part, except for semis, and let's keep an eye on semis. We're looking at semis in the bearish mindset. That the more I look at that monthly chart on AMD, it actually kind of makes me sick. It's a very bad looking chart down below that wedge. I do think there's a volume gap down there on that monthly chart. You can actually go to the video, rewatch the video, and you can see that there's a volume gap down there below 67, I believe, off the top of my head. But if we get into that volume gap, we're going to 60-ish. And I know people don't want to hear that. People love AMD, but those semis were overblown due to chip shortages, just an over bullish market, and they just got run up. I mean, for a long time, AMD traded sideways, and all of a sudden, it was the hottest stock on the stock market. It traded, sideways for a couple of years. This is ED. This actually not even supposed to be on here. This is a utility. We did a utility list yesterday. They're coming back after defensive names. Utility is in the defensive sector. Consumer staples here is also in a defensive sector. You can see we're still below the 200 and the 50 here, so we got some moving averages to take out, but a nice candle on Friday. And they started to come after some of these names. We're going to take a look at a couple of them. Names like cost, you have a bottom ascending triangle down here. If it just does take this level out, I would watch the level on this candle. It kind of messes things up. But if we can get above this 50 here, watch for the 200. You got plenty of room there to make money. It's like a $15 move there, something like that. I kind of killed my number there with my line, but it's around that area. It's plenty of room there to make money if we can get above that 50 tomorrow, up to the 200. Some of these are some of the slower moving names. You got CPNG. They had a price target increase. The actual price target was lowered, but I believe it was like a buy or something. It had really good volume on it. Nice candle, nice move Friday. We should get a follow through on this candle. Textbook says we should get a follow through, a breakout on volume, 2 times the daily average volume as well. So we should see a follow through on that textbook. they've been selling the breakout, so keep that, they've been selling the pop, so keep that in mind. Could be a short opportunity. You got Dollar General here. We talked about this one last week. I still think that, these will be stores people are going to be interested in. The more they talk about a recession, I still personally think we're in a recession. Um, we're definitely getting ready to find out how bad things are coming into earnings in 2 weeks on the 14th, starting with the banks. But you can see we flagged back into the 9 and pushed, so that's a nice looking setup there. There's really no great setups right now, to be perfectly honest. DLO still watching this possible double top. If it takes this out, it's a double top. It's got to confirm this line. We could come down to this line and bounce. Want to watch that channel. That could be an easy money trade if it can get it out of the way of some of these levels. It's kind of wedging right in there in between the 50, the 9, and the 20. Looks like the 20 wants to roll down and bring it down to this line. So I still want to keep an eye on that one, see if we can get a retest of that line or a breach. Dollar Tree still trading in this tight wedge here. This price is wedging against the moving averages, and actually we seem to be, losing the moving averages right here. The trend line steady coming down. This could be getting a break lower. If this does move lower, we have a big gap here to fill. Of course, if we break it out, watch for the upside of it. But I'm actually, Dollar General looks a lot better. I know they're both in the same, basically the same industry, um, the same little sector. But this chart looks a little more bearish to me. It could definitely still go up, but getting below the support, we're respecting the trend lines on the way down. We can break below this, these candle bodies here. This thing will probably start dropping like a rock. No momentum in the MACD. Trading flat. Apologize for the fireworks. You got FedEx here. This, I really thought this was going to give us at least a couple of days run off the earnings, but it just didn't happen. Have this little like a saucer, kind of a rounded bottom pattern down here. I call them rounded bottoms. I don't really call them saucers, to be honest, but that could probably be passed as a saucer. Well, it could be passed as a saucer. To me, it's a rounded bottom. Took this resistance level out, and we couldn't hold it. It come back down. So this is crashing. I would watch for this thing. The way the market's looking and transports are looking, I would watch for this. The MACD's wanting to cross. I'd watch for this to come back down. Watch your levels. So right now you'd be watching for the 50. Take the 50 out. Watch for your dome here. You can see the actual rounded bottom. You can see where the candles are, and I would watch for it to come down and touch that line. If we take that out, watch for downside. Still think there's quite a bit more room for the market to pull back here. Not saying individual names. A lot of the names have pulled back a lot farther than the market. I think the S&P needs to catch up with some of this. Honestly, I still think, the 200 is still a very good support level that I think we will come down to. If we take that out, then the 300 moving average, I don't talk about that much because we don't do pullbacks. We haven't done a large enough pullback to really look for the 300 moving averages in a while. But we take that 200 out, we will be turning the 300s on. So we have a nice pullback here on Globe, and then got this nice downtrend break. Got a really strong move. Friday, not sure, may have had some news. I spotted it on the scanner. IBM, still a very strong stock, value sector. See it respected this trend line on the way up. Now it seems to be respecting this trend line. We're working our way back to it. So we could see a pop. We're back into the 9 and 20 right here. We could see a pop. Draw a downtrend line on that. Just keep it on the edge of your wicks, and you got to get above that. I would, prefer to see it up above this. Draw a line across the top of here. That line's a little low. Draw a line across the top of there. That's what I would prefer to see. But there could be room to make a few dollars, or actually with options to make some decent money between here and that line. Doesn't take a very big move, a 2 or 3% move. A couple, even a dollar move you can make money with. This is IBB. I talked about it last week. This is like a biofarm ETF. It's one of the ones I watch for pharma. A lot of the bigger pharma names are doing really well. We're going to take a look at a few of them. We already looked at BMY and Lilly. We got a few more to look at. But you can see this double bottom here. If we can take this out, I would expect a move from the, if you did a measured move on this, take your percentages from this line to this line. And this, for an example, let's just say that was 10%, then we would expect a 10% move up. I'd never go by that. I'd never go by price targets. I trade from level to level. So for me, if we break out of here, I'd be drawing a line across the top. Would be looking probably more at this level right here. I would be drawing lines, trying to catch my next level. And just looking for a reaction doesn't mean you got to sell at the level, but you look for a reaction. Be ready to take profits when you get to it. BEKE, we looked at this one last week. So we took this 50, or no, I'm sorry, we took the 200 out. The 9's right here. The 9 has caught up above this 200. And, we look at the short-term charts. We see that same setup all the time on the 1 and 5 minute charts. It's exactly what we're looking for. So we have a nice rounded bottom here. We're breaking out of it. I would expect a nice move up. Make sure you draw a trend line from there, see if you can get a line on that, maybe come from over here, watch your levels, and we definitely have to break out. I want to see it break the flatness, where to draw a flat line in there and see it break up to the upside. Probably would feel more comfortable at getting above the wick of that candle, of Friday's candle. KMB, this is one we talked about. We had this rounded bottom. We caught that move down. We put a V bottom in. You can see the gap up there. That's a sign of strength. When it was able to take this moving average back, taking the resistance level back, shot up, come down, tested. So this is where we looked at it last weekend. So we put it in a nice little base here, waiting on the 9 to catch up. Now it's wanting to move as the 9's approaching it. Coke, really big move. Actually, if you look inside of consumer staples, the sodas, so there's several different, from drugs, from like a retail drugs, basically, from food. There's several different industries inside of the consumer staples. Sodas, soft drinks are one, and they were the better performing industry within inside the consumer staples Friday. So we're going to take a look at Pepsi as well. Dr. Pepper had a decent looking chart as well, but I don't like options availability on that one. So you can see Lockheed Martin here. We looked at this one last week as well. I like these charts due to waiting for those contracts to come out to start replacing all this equipment that we have been giving to Ukraine. Defensive sector. McDonald's, another nice candle on Friday. That report come out that I posted about drinks changing again. So when people see somebody raising prices, passing it off to the customer, they're looking at them of having just the first thoughts come out that, okay, their earnings may not be affected because they're passing the prices on. So that will actually help the company out. But had a really nice move here Friday, breaking out of this wedge here, symmetrical triangle here. Nice push up, nice candle. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on. MRK, another one. So got this little cup here. It's pulled back, formed a handle. It's taking that out, respecting the 9, trying to push up. There's room to make some money from here to this line, but would expect a stronger move above that resistance level. But there is room to make money there with options. You have a $1.50 move. If you have a 40-cent delta, that could be a $120 move per contract. MQ, we talked about this bear flag last week. Broke out of it Monday, pulled down under this resistance level now. Waiting on the 9 to come down to help push it down. Moderna, this hasn't been trading that well, but you can see this flag here coming into the 9 with a nice candle on Friday, pushing up, taking out the downtrend here. NOC, North Grumman, nice move up once again, waiting on the contracts to come out, and I'm sure some have already started to start replacing this equipment. Defensive sector, people are looking here. They're slower moving stocks, but people are looking here for places to deploy their money. NVIDIA, downtrend. I just wanted to show this. We talk about AMD all the time. Just a rough looking chart. The AMD monthly chart is just terrible looking. You have, this is a realty company. I don't know how the options are on this, but you have this double bottom here. This wick did breach the box, but we did get a push up, a breakout, come back, retested the 9. Nice candle here, very strong candle on Friday. This one's worth watching. Check your options. This one could be just a simple share, buying shares on. We have some members. Of course, we have the YouTube community, the Facebook community, but we also have Discord members who are trading 401ks as well as day trading. So that, can be a possibility for 401ks. Check into it, because some real estate is really taking a beating. Some other sides of real estate will really benefit from that beating. So it's just, unfortunately, it's just nature. It's how things work. Some will get chewed up, some will benefit. Ollie's, we talked about this last week. Nice looking chart. It come down, took a break. So we had a pullback Friday, got back below the 9 and pushed back up. Watch this MACD, see if this thing's going to pinch or roll over. This MACD looks like it wants to pinch. We'll probably get some move up. We're right on the Bollinger Bands, come almost touch the 20, which is the mean. So this could definitely push up. Watch that MACD. That would probably be, the histogram would be the first line of, the first thing to give you a signal there. SOXL, just wanted to point this out. This is a 3 times bull ETF for semiconductors and just trading very poorly. I would like to get a reconnect of this 50 here would be great to go back in short. Look at that bearish volume. Just MU's. MU had their earnings guided down. We also seen some stuff about NVIDIA. I posted an article saying that there were some chips that they weren't going to be asking to have produced from Taiwan Semi. This is SOXL. This is the 15-minute chart. You can see it's trading in this downtrending wedge here. So we're at the top of this wedge. Are we going to break out of this and push up tomorrow? Or are we just going to, maybe possibly touch it? Or do we even have the strength to touch it and go right straight into a downtrend? So that's worth watching, that trend line. If you're interested in trading that, get that trend line on your chart. This is the SPY 1-hour chart that from the inverted head and shoulders, which I just wanted to point out because we have this little ascending triangle down here. But I've also been talking about how to do the price targets on the patterns. And right here, you can see we absolutely did not make the price target. So that's why I always look for areas. If you'd have been, if you would have been looking for this, you'd have probably lost money. But if you would have realized that you got the 200 there, you'd have been ready at the 200 to take profits if needed, depending on how the reaction was at the 200. And you can see we come close to hitting the target, but we just didn't. But I don't even look at targets like that. I trade from level to level, especially in this market. This is one we've been talking about as well. This is an air conditioner company. You can see it's back above the 9. It takes this 200 out. This may try to push up. You can see it is in an uptrend. A high, a higher high, a low, a higher low. See if we can put in a higher high there. Seeing volume moving on expanding volume. Decent looking chart. Not crazy about the MACD, but it's a decent looking chart. Taking a break. A UNH, this is another one. Defensive sector. Nice push up here, respecting the 9 with a big wick. XOP, we are below support here, or resistance, above. All right, let's start over. So the 200 is support. We have resistance. You can see a resistance line, but the 9's also resistance. this 9 is going to end up coming down on this and applying pressure. Either we got to break out or we're going to end up pushing down. You can see the pinch in the MACD right there. If I had to guess, we're going to see more downside. And that concludes our charts for today. I hope to see everybody in the trading room. Have a good night.